What is drug repurposing? A. Developing a new drug from scratch. B. Reusing an existing drug for a different medical purpose. C. Testing drugs on animals. D. Creating a vaccine. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing involves finding new medical uses for existing drugs, saving time and money compared to developing new drugs. Which of the following is a potential benefit of drug repurposing? A. Reduced cost and time for drug development. B. Increased side effects. C. Limited availability of drugs. D. Decreased effectiveness of drugs. The correct answer is A. Drug repurposing allows for faster and cheaper development of new treatments by using existing drugs with known safety profiles. What is another term commonly used for drug repurposing? A. Drug rebranding. B. Drug recycling. C. Drug repositioning. D. Drug redesigning. The correct answer is C. Drug repositioning is another term for finding new uses for existing drugs. Which of the following is not a reason for pursuing drug repurposing? A. To bypass regulatory approval processes. B. To address unmet medical needs. C. To leverage existing safety data. D. To accelerate drug development timelines. The correct answer is A. Drug repurposing still requires regulatory approval for new indications, but it can be faster due to existing safety data. Which of the following diseases has not seen successful drug repurposing efforts? A. Alzheimer's disease. B. Cancer. C. Type 2 diabetes. D. Common cold. The correct answer is D. Drug repurposing has been successful in finding new treatments for diseases like Alzheimer's, cancer, and diabetes. But not for the common cold, which is caused by viruses. What is an advantage of using existing drugs for new indications through repurposing? A. Unknown side effects. B. Known safety profiles. C. High development costs. D. Limited clinical data. The correct answer is B. Existing drugs have known safety profiles. Thus can expedite the development process and reduce risks compared to new drug development. In drug repurposing, what is meant by a drug library? A. A collection of new drugs waiting for approval. B. A database of existing drugs and their known uses. C. A list of drug companies. D. A research team studying drug interactions. The correct answer is B. A drug library is a database of existing drugs and their known uses. It can be explored for new medical applications through repurposing. Which stage of drug development is most commonly associated with drug repurposing? A. Phase 1 clinical trials. B. Preclinical research. C. Phase 3 clinical trials. D. Post-marketing surveillance. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing often begins with preclinical research to evaluate the potential of existing drugs for new indications before advancing to clinical trials. What role does computational biology play in drug repurposing? A. It involves creating new drugs from scratch. B. It helps identify potential new uses for existing drugs. C. It focuses on animal testing. D. It accelerates regulatory approval processes. The correct answer is B. Computational biology uses data analysis and modeling to find new uses for existing drugs, helping with drug repurposing. In drug repurposing, what is the main goal? A. To discover new drugs. B. To find new targets for existing drugs. C. To use drugs for new indications without undergoing full development. D. To eliminate side effects of existing drugs. The correct answer is C. Drug repurposing aims to use existing drugs for new indications, without the need for full development. This saves time and resources. What is an example of a drug successfully repurposed for new indication? A. Aspirin for pain relief. B. Ibuprofen for inflammation. C. Thalidomide for leprosy. D. Metformin for diabetes. The correct answer is D. Metformin, originally used for diabetes, has been repurposed for other conditions such as polycystic ovary syndrome. Which of the following is a potential limitation of drug repurposing? A. Lack of intellectual property protection. B. Low cost compared to traditional drug development. C. High success rate in clinical trials. D. Limited funding opportunities. The correct answer is A. One limitation of drug repurposing is the lack of intellectual property protection for existing drugs being used for new indications. How does drug repurposing differ from de novo drug discovery? A. Drug repurposing finds new uses for existing drugs, while de novo drug discovery creates entirely new drugs. B. The processes are identical. C. Drug repurposing is more expensive than de novo drug discovery. D. De novo drug discovery is faster than drug repurposing. The correct answer is A. Drug repurposing focuses on finding new uses for existing drugs, whereas de novo drug discovery involves creating entirely new drugs from scratch. Which regulatory pathway is commonly used for drug repurposing? A. New drug application, NDA. B. Biologics license application, BLA. C. 505, B. 2. Pathway. D. Citizen petition. The correct answer is C. The 505b2 pathway is commonly used for drug repurposing, as it allows referencing data from already approved drugs. What is one advantage of drug repurposing in terms of patient safety? A. Higher frequency of adverse effects. B. Reduced risk of adverse reactions compared to new drugs. C. Increased likelihood of drug interactions. D. No need for clinical trials. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing can offer reduced risk of adverse reactions compared to new drugs, since there's existing knowledge of the drug's safety profile. Which of the following is a key consideration for selecting drugs for repurposing? A. Availability in the market. B. High cost. C. Poor safety profile. D. Specific molecular target for the new indication. The correct answer is D. One key consideration for selecting drugs for repurposing is whether they have a specific molecular target relevant to the new indication being explored. How can big data and AI support drug repurposing efforts? A. By increasing the cost of drug development. B. By analyzing large datasets to identify new uses for existing drugs. C. By decreasing the need for clinical trials. D. By slowing down the drug repurposing process. The correct answer is B. Big data and AI can help analyze large datasets to identify potential new uses for existing drugs, expediting the drug repurposing process. What is an important factor to consider when conducting clinical trials for repurposed drugs? A. The need for novel manufacturing processes. B. Ensuring the drug is less effective than in its original indication. C. Reassessment of the drug's safety profile. D. The availability of intellectual property protection. The correct answer is C. When conducting clinical trials for repurposed drugs, it is crucial to reassess the drug's safety profile for the new indication being studied. Which stakeholder in the healthcare system benefits from drug repurposing? A. Pharmaceutical companies. B. Insurance companies. C. Patients. D. Medical device manufacturers. The correct answer is C. Patients can benefit from drug repurposing by gaining access to potentially more affordable treatments with known safety profiles. What is the process of identifying new therapeutic uses for existing drugs known as? A. Drug synthesis. B. Drug repurposing. C. Drug discovery. D. Drug evaluation. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing involves finding new uses for existing drugs, rather than creating new drugs from scratch. Which of the following is not a potential benefit of drug repurposing? A. Reduced development costs. B. Faster approval timelines. C. Increased side effects. D. Expanded treatment options. The correct answer is C. One potential benefit of drug repurposing is the ability to identify new uses for existing drugs with known safety and side effect profiles. In drug repurposing, what is meant by the term off-label use? A. Using drugs without FDA approval. B. Using drugs in a clinical trial. C. Using drugs for their original intended purpose. D. Using drugs for a new indication not approved by the FDA. The correct answer is D. Off-label use refers to using a drug for a purpose not approved by regulatory agencies like the FDA. What role does computational biology play in drug repurposing? A. Identifying potential new drug targets. B. Screening existing drugs for new uses. C. Designing new chemical compounds. D. Conducting clinical trials. The correct answer is B. Computational biology can help analyze existing drugs to identify potential new uses and repurposing opportunities. Which of the following is a common challenge in drug repurposing efforts? A. Lack of regulatory support. B. Limited funding opportunities. C. Difficulty obtaining patient consent. D. Identifying suitable drug candidates. The correct answer is D. One challenge in drug repurposing is finding existing drugs suitable for repurposing to treat new indications. What is the main goal of drug repurposing? A. To create new chemical entities. B. To expedite the drug development process. C. To replace conventional drug discovery. D. To generate revenue for pharmaceutical companies. The correct answer is B. The main goal of drug repurposing is to identify new therapeutic uses for existing drugs, speeding up the development process. How can big data and AI support drug repurposing efforts? A. By creating new chemical compounds. B. By identifying potential drug candidates. C. By conducting clinical trials. D. By replacing traditional drug development processes. The correct answer is B. Big data and AI can help analyze large datasets to identify potential drug candidates for repurposing. Which stakeholder in the healthcare system benefits from drug repurposing efforts? A. Pharmaceutical companies. B. Patients. C. Insurance companies. D. Regulatory agencies. The correct answer is B. Patients can benefit from drug repurposing efforts by gaining access to new treatment options without the long timeline and costs associated with traditional drug development processes. What term describes finding new uses for old drugs? A. Drug rebranding. B. Drug recycling. C. Drug repurposing. D. Drug retrial. The correct answer is C. Drug repurposing refers to finding new indications for existing drugs. How does drug repurposing differ from de novo drug discovery? A. Repurposing uses existing drugs. De novo starts from scratch. B. Repurposing is faster. De novo takes longer. C. Repurposing is riskier. De novo is safer. D. Repurposing requires new patents. De novo does not. The correct answer is A. De novo drug discovery involves creating entirely new drugs, while repurposing involves finding new uses for existing drugs. What is one advantage of using existing drugs for new indications through drug repurposing? A. Lower cost and shorter timeline. B. Guaranteed regulatory approval. C. Increased market exclusivity. D. Higher success rate in clinical trials. The correct answer is A. Repurposing existing drugs can be more cost-effective and faster than developing new drugs from scratch. Which regulatory pathway is commonly used for drug repurposing in the US? A. Fast Track designation. B. Breakthrough Therapy designation. C. Orphan Drug designation. D. 505. B. 2. Pathway. The correct answer is D. The 505(b)(2) pathway is often used for drug repurposing in the US, allowing reliance on existing data for approval. How can big data and AI support drug repurposing efforts? A. By creating new drug molecules. B. By speeding up clinical trials. C. By identifying potential new uses for existing drugs. D. By replacing traditional drug testing methods. The correct answer is C. Big data and AI can help identify new potential indications for existing drugs through data analysis. What is an important factor to consider when conducting clinical trials for repurposed drugs? A. Patent expiration dates. B. Existing safety and efficacy data. C. Marketing budget allocation. D. Potential conflicts of interest. The correct answer is B. Having existing safety and efficacy data can inform the design and outcome of clinical trials for repurposed drugs. Which stakeholder in the healthcare system benefits from drug repurposing efforts? A. Pharmaceutical companies. B. Insurance companies. C. Patients. D. Government regulatory agencies. The correct answer is C. Patients can benefit from repurposed drugs offering new treatment options. What is the process of identifying new therapeutic uses for existing drugs known as? A. Drug repurposing. B. Drug recycling. C. Drug rebranding. D. Drug retrial. The correct answer is A. Identifying new therapeutic uses for existing drugs is called drug repurposing. What is a potential limitation of drug repurposing? A. Limited market exclusivity. B. High cost of new clinical trials. C. Lack of existing safety data. D. Difficulty obtaining FDA approval. The correct answer is A. One limitation of drug repurposing is the potential for limited market exclusivity compared to new drug development. Which of the following best describes drug repurposing? A. Developing new drugs from scratch. B. Identifying new uses for existing drugs. C. Strictly following FDA regulations. D. Only applicable to rare diseases. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing involves finding new therapeutic uses for existing drugs, often by leveraging their known safety profiles and mechanisms of action. What is a potential benefit of drug repurposing? A. Higher development costs. B. Faster time to market. C. Increased risk of adverse effects. D. Limited treatment options. The correct answer is B. One benefit of drug repurposing is the potential for faster time to market, since the drug has already been studied for safety and pharmacokinetics. Which term is commonly used to describe drug repurposing efforts? A. Redeveloping. B. Recycling. C. Rebranding. D. Repurposing. The correct answer is D. Drug repurposing is the commonly used term for identifying new therapeutic uses for existing drugs. Which disease has not seen successful drug repurposing efforts? A. Malaria. B. HIV, AIDS. C. Diabetes. D. Alzheimer's disease. The correct answer is A. Malaria has not seen as many successful drug repurposing efforts compared to other diseases like HIV, AIDS, diabetes, and Alzheimer's disease. What is an advantage of using existing drugs for new indications through repurposing? A. Higher development costs. B. Increased side effects. C. Known safety profiles. D. Slower time to market. The correct answer is C. Repurposing existing drugs leverages their known safety profiles, potentially reducing risks associated with new drug development. In drug repurposing, what is meant by a drug library? A. A physical library of drug samples. B. A comprehensive database of drug properties. C. A collection of herbal remedies. D. A list of banned substances. The correct answer is B. A drug library, in drug repurposing, refers to a collection of existing drugs with known properties that could potentially be repurposed for new uses. What role does computational biology play in drug repurposing? A. Creating new chemical entities. B. Analyzing clinical trial data. C. Predicting drug-target interactions. D. Managing adverse reactions. The correct answer is C. Computational biology helps predict potential drug-target interactions, making it valuable in identifying repurposing opportunities. Which term is commonly used to describe the process of identifying new therapeutic uses for existing drugs? A. Drug recycling. B. Drug rediscovery. C. Drug repositioning. D. Drug reappropriation. The correct answer is C. Drug repurposing, also known as drug repositioning, involves investigating existing drugs for new therapeutic uses. What is a potential advantage of drug repurposing compared to de novo drug discovery? A. Lower cost and shorter development timeline. B. Higher probability of novel mechanism of action. C. More extensive clinical trials required. D. Greater opportunity for patent exclusivity. The correct answer is A. One advantage of drug repurposing is the lower cost and shorter development timeline compared to developing new drugs from scratch. Existing drugs have already undergone safety and efficacy testing. How does drug repurposing differ from de novo drug discovery? A. Drug repurposing finds new uses for existing drugs, while de novo drug discovery creates entirely new ones. B. De novo drug discovery is cheaper than drug repurposing. C. Drug repurposing needs longer clinical trials than de novo drug discovery. D. Repurposing existing drugs is usually harder than discovering new ones. The correct answer is A. Drug repurposing involves finding new therapeutic uses for existing drugs. De novo drug discovery focuses on creating entirely new drugs from scratch. Which of the following is not a potential limitation of drug repurposing efforts? A. Limited patent protection. B. Potential lack of financial incentives for repurposing existing drugs. C. Higher risk of unexpected side effects compared to new drug development. D. Limited availability of suitable drugs for repurposing. The correct answer is C. Unexpected side effects are a risk in both drug repurposing and de novo drug discovery, so it's not a specific limitation of repurposing efforts. What is an example of a successful drug repurposing effort in healthcare? A. Aspirin for pain relief. B. Metformin for diabetes management. C. Ibuprofen for inflammation. D. Warfarin for blood thinning. The correct answer is B. Metformin, originally developed to treat type 2 diabetes, has been repurposed for other conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome and potentially even cancer.